I was on my way home from work, and I was heading down 330-65, and I seen that car go off to the side road right into the drainage ditch, and I knew that water was very, very deep. So I pulled off to the side, called 911, and by that time, John and Thomas got there.
And we were coming back to Des Moines, and I looked over to the side, and I saw this big splash of water.
And the car had nosed in, and the back end was off into the water.
Cars just flew by. I mean, nobody stopped. Of course, they probably didn't know what we were standing there for, I guess, but...
When I stepped in, it surprised me very much that the water was as deep as it was. I have to be honest. I thought I was going to step in and maybe be up to my waist, and that was just judging by the way the car was sitting in the water. I didn't think it was going to be that deep. And I went a little farther and found a large concrete block, it appears, that I could stand on, which was right next to the door, right next to where she was. So I was just, at that point, standing on it, holding her hand, talking to her. And then in a very, very short period of time, the car shifted a little bit.
I looked down in the ditch, and the car was going under.
So she moved towards the window, and I reached in, grabbed her, and pulled her out and back towards me. And in about that length of time, the car was to its roof in water.
She had a very scared look on her face, and John had a very determined look on his.
Holding her, pushing her towards the bank a little bit, and by that time, they had saw what was going on. Carl was down there, and actually I reached in and helped pull her out.
And I grabbed her and pulled her to the bank, and the Mitchellville police officer was there. He grabbed her, pulled her up.
She was very grateful to them, and scared, and probably just happy to get out of there.
She was pretty bruised up. You could see a pretty good seatbelt bruise across her shoulder stuff, and she actually called me the next day and was gonna go see her doctor and just make sure she was okay. She was very stiff and sore, but that seemed to be the most of it.
I'm proud to know John and Thomas, because Thomas could have kept on driving, and nobody would have known.
I kind of feel I just did what had to be done. I just was glad I was there, and maybe made a difference in somebody's life.
Something that goes above and beyond the norm, I guess. Just doing something for somebody, or helping your fellow man out, and just being there and being a good person and just doing what's right. And Carl and John are two of those men I know, and I'm glad to know them both.